Well, we went to Malvern Military Fair this weekend and we bought a few bits and pieces, and I'm going to ask Dave to kick off with what he's got in his bag before I show you what I've got in mine.
Because it is by far the best thing that we've got here today, and it's the best thing that was at the show over the weekend.
Which would mean it's best out of the three things on the table.
Absolutely. It is a Second World War Purple Heart, but what's special about it is that it's named to the recipient on the back, and it's quite poignant in that with it are all his certificates. He was a lieutenant by the name of Leon S. King. He was a navigator with the 5th US Air Force. He was killed flying over the Solomon Islands in 1943, but it wasn't until 1950 that his body and the wreckage of the aircraft was found. And the reason they were able to identify him was the fact that there was a ring which his mother had given him just before he left, and it was named up to him, and that was how they were able to prove that it was him. And it is just so complete. There's just everything you could wish to see in there. It is absolutely fantastic. It really is. And with events that are taking place in the Ukraine at the moment, it just brings it home that, you know, there were people back then who were dying at a very young age and sacrificing and giving their lives for their country. And, you know, I was very excited about this. I still am. And there we go.
That's amazing. It is pretty amazing. It's quite sensitive for you, Dad. It's like I was expecting a howitzer or something. There's some strange things in the hall.
No,
wow,
this is really.
There's a lot of mileage in that.
It really tugs at the heartstrings. You know, his mum wouldn't give up, and they, you know, continued to search for him because he was just posted as missing. So from 43 until they recovered the wreckage, and they were able to identify him, you know, she had no way of, you know, achieving that closure. So
that is cracking, Dad. Well done. That's pretty amazing. I don't know if Pete, you can beat that. That is a tough.
Well, in my world, I can, because as you know, my thing is home front, and one of the things that we found was this helmet. Well, in fact, Steve, you found it, so I've got to give you the credit. But it's a Mark II Brody. It's a National Fire Service, and you can see the area is number 42, which is Stalybridge, or Stalybridge, depending how you pronounce it, which is Manchester. And if you look, it's got a Mark I liner with the donut type inner, and we've even got a number. I've not managed to do any research at all into it, but we know that it's made by Joseph Sankey and Sons, and we know that these are only made between 1938 and 1941. So it's quite a nice helmet. It will go into my little collection of home front helmets that are currently on site for sale. Somebody is going to cherish and love that. I think over to you, Steve, with that one, because
that is your kind of thing, Pete. I don't know if this is my kind of thing, but when I saw it, I had to go for it. And bearing in mind we're moving shop, when I was thinking of interiors for the new shop, so this can maybe join a couple of the colonels up there. But this guy's a lieutenant, and you can see from the shoulder titles and the insignia, the way this is hand done, he's in the Worcesters. And this really resonated. To live in hearts we leave behind is not to die. I thought that was really amazing. The details are underneath, and that's what sort of turned me on to this. It's a lovely depiction on linen. It's pastels on linen, I believe. But you've got all these details here, so it tells you exactly who he is, and exactly you know, his family and everything around it when he was born. But sadly, you can look into when he fell and what the circumstances were. The artist is good as well, which is signed off as John Shirley Fox. So there's more to that side of things. A good British artist operating in Paris. But you know, the history is what we're all about. He actually dies on the day at Transloy Ridges, and it's well documented. He's in the 2nd Battalion Worcesters, and on that very day that sadly he falls, a fellow Lieutenant Eugene Bennett, and this is Edward Holland. Eugene Bennett gets the Victoria Cross. So same battalion, fellow officer, on the same day. It just keeps on giving, and you know, we're going to stick this up in the new shop. You're going to try and make me sell it.
I think it's remarkable. I have to say, no, I love it as well. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Well, I like anything to do with the Worcesters. They're one of my favourite regiments, and regular battalion. They had 4 battalions at the outbreak of the war, so it's definitely up there with the sort of like mainstream people.
And very much local to us as well.
Very much local, yeah.
It's good stuff. Your helmet was good, Pete, but Dad wins, I reckon, with his purple heart.
Close one thing, I would say.